Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here for this webinar today, From Chaos to Clarity, Structure for Your Startup to Success. The reason I'm hosting this webinar today because I noticed there's a lot of startups and a lot of solopreneurs and founders start their business in a chaotic way where they just get started and this lead them to frustrations and chaos along the way. So in this session, me and Saba, we're going to share some insights, some thoughts and directions that hopefully would guide you through your journey. As some of you here are founders, some of you are starting their business or planning to start their business. And hopefully by the end of the session, you would get some more inspiration or guidance that would help you out through your journey. So before we get started, I'm gonna give a little introduction about myself and open the space for Saba also to introduce himself. So just to know who are sharing this information with you. Some of you already know us, some of you is just getting to know us for the first time. So myself, I'm the founder of Project Accelerator, and mainly from a background of project manager, I was focusing on bringing project management approach for solopreneurs and startups to help them execute overwhelming tasks, give them structure, give them frameworks and tools to help them with productivity. And Saba as well, he is executive lead of ACTS Institute. He's a mentor and business consultant. And I'll give it to you to introduce more about yourself.
Thank you, Summer. Hello, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank you all for taking your time and being interested in our webinar. I'm glad that it got interesting for you. As Summer mentioned, I'm hopeful that you will get insights and practical tips and tricks from our session today. We will be more than happy to answer your questions, and not only during the webinar, after this as well, you can reach out and we can just share information via online. Well, to elaborate on my background, I think it's more than enough whatever you mentioned. All I will say is that I'm very passionate about empowering and supporting businesses in general, whether it's a management consulting project with medium or large companies, or pre-acceleration programs or one-on-one mentorship, especially with startups. So I'm just here to support and to empower people on their journeys of entrepreneurship and scaling their businesses. Yeah, that's I think what I would love to add.
Thank you so much, Saba. So before we get started, I would love to just give you an overview what's going to be in this session today. So we're going to dive into a little bit of identifying the chaos and where the current bottlenecks or problems, common problems that startups and founders face during their journey. And then we're going to move to share some structure and frameworks to building a scalable flow and building a team around your business idea or your business structure. Then we're going to talk a little bit about processes and operational structures, how you can be efficient with your business, and how you can find accelerator and get ready to enroll in accelerator program or grants and preparing yourself to receive funds and investments from others. And by the end of the session, we're going to open the space for Q&A where you can share about your startup. You can ask any questions you have and share more like personal insights. But before we move to the next slide, I would love to ask you to type in the chat whether you are a founder of business or you're in early stage and where you are in your journey. Like how do you want this session to support you so we can address the most out of your concerns and help make this session the best for you. Also, I want to welcome the new members that are joining us. Welcome, Ambak, Gregory. Welcome, Dalaria. Thank you for being here.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Samar. Thank you, everyone. I'm happy to be part of your speech today. Sabah, good luck. Summer, thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you so
Nice
much.
to see.
Nice to see you. We're just getting started, so we're just going through the agenda for today and a little bit introduction about ourselves, and we're gonna dive into the details. So, one of the shocking fact that most of you probably don't know that 80% of startups they fail within the first year of being an operation in business due to lack management at operation. And that's considerably a huge number for founders, for everyone who's thinking about starting a business, because it's a lot. It's a big number compared to the businesses that failed, and 20% only out of this founders and around 1 million 1 million startup get launched every single year, 80% of them fail. And because of many other reasons, including financial struggles and other struggles that they may go through, but mostly because of lack of management and operation, because they don't have a clear structure on what they are doing and how they can keep the business sustainable. They get excited about too many ideas, they get incoherent within their business, and this lead them to be in a chaos that lead this business to fail. And unfortunately, a lot of founders, first time founders specifically, they face a lot of these problems, and there is many ways to work around them. There's many ways to get through these challenges, be able to understand how these challenges can affect these business and go over them. And a lot of people feel overrated or underrated about project management or operation management because we don't know this. The school system, the previous experience that we went through, they don't prepare us to be ready for the business world. And then a lot of us at some point of they get done with the 9 to 5 job, so they decide to be their own manager, their own business. But we don't know anything about business. We don't know how to get started in a business and how we can run a business ourselves. So we ended up breaking out the business or failing our startup. A lot of these common mistakes that people go through is mainly a hidden fields that we don't really give a lot of attention. And one of the foremost of them is uncreated roles within the business. Too many people trying to do many things at the same time. Either you start on your own as a solopreneur or single founder, and this is with a lot of pressure on you to wear too many hats to be the founder, to be the social media marketer, to be the web designer, the developer, and the one who's doing the sales. And you end up with too many roles that you don't really be able to do any of them really well, and you burn out. And that's where you need to come with a team around you and find the people that would really support you to do your business. You don't have to do everything alone, and actually you can't do everything alone. So you need to find people around you to support you along this journey. And as you're doing this, you need to make sure to identify the roles and not get an overlapping roles where you have to overwhelm yourself or reinvent the wheel multiple times. You need to find the roles that help you fill up the gaps that would help you go on through your business. So if you're good on something, try to find a partner that would help you with the things that you have lack on. And one of the second most problems that lead to startups that don't give a lot of attention about is incoherent with the roles and disorganized processes within the business. So who's making decisions? Because when you are working on your business alone, you're making all the decisions. That's easy. But when there's two people or more, there's multiple people making decision on multiple things. And that's where you need to have a trust and try not to reinvent the wheel multiple times. If you're taking decisions about finances, the other person may be able to take decisions about different things. It doesn't matter who's taking decisions on what. The the main thing is to be organized and having to know clearly who's taking decisions on what. and how you manage these decisions and what is the process that's making these decisions. And that's also fall into the third problem, which is communication. Because when you're working with teams, again, you're not doing all the work alone. So there's a hidden spots, a cracks of communication that doesn't really get everyone in alignments. You think the other person is doing this work, they know what's happening in your business. You do one meeting and you forgot to update the other team members within the team, and you start moving in a direction, leaving everyone behind. So having this communication, even updating the little details and the big details, the wins and losses, also it's a very important things that help your startup go in a direction that would lead to success. And finally is scaling the business, scaling within different fields. As again, if you're working alone, if you're only two people, you can scale to a certain level, but you can't cover all your roles. So you need more people around you. You need funds at some points, and that's where Saba gonna be talking about how you pitch out to funds, how to pitch out to grants, and be able to scale in a way that lead to your success. Before moving to the next slide, I want to just check in. Anyone have any questions? Anyone resonate with these problems, or they feel they need support in any of these roles within their business right now? Feel free to type this in the chat or just open your mic and share out loud any thoughts you have or any other chaos that you think you currently have in your business. All right, moving to the next slide. We're going to talk about how you can build the blocks to build some structure in your business. As we talked earlier, there is a lot of chaos that when you are not organized, but also there is a lot of processes where you can define the roles in your business, where you can build the foundation of your business step by step to help you grow and have a solid foundation where you can build on top of it. By starting by knowing what you are doing, define the core value and the goal of the business, and what you are doing. What is this business idea about? What we are doing here? How we're doing this? Who's doing what? Mainly the five WH questions that mostly common. I know it's very simple approach, but a lot of people go along a journey. They've been doing the work that they're doing for a lot of time, and they kind of got lost within the way. And it's good habit to look back and circle to identify, okay, what we are doing here, what is the goal, where we're going, and then have this documented on a paper, not just in your head, because you're not gonna remember everything along the way. So you need to have this documented and writing down, okay, we're going from point A to point B. We need to do this thing and this thing and this thing. Okay, how are we gonna do it? What is the standards of operation that we're gonna follow to do this? What is the success criteria? How we know that, for example, building this marketing agency is being successful? Is it the numbers? Is it the clients? Is it the funds that we're earning in? How we know that we're going into the right direction? And then assign a clear tasks and clear ownership, because you're not going to be doing everything alone. So if you're doing the content creation part and you have someone help you with sales and marketing, identify that who's doing what. Look around you in your network, who's going to be able to help you to execute some of these tasks that going to lead you to reach your goal, and partner up with them. And then you're going to keep going into this kind of feedback loops to continue to improve this cycle. Saba, do you have anything to add to the foundation?
Well, I think you clearly defined all the aspects that you mentioned before, and they coherently communicated all the content. I think it would be better if we ask the participants if they have like specific questions on how to build blocks or what do we mean by iteration or how can we start small and go bigger. So probably they have this like real practice driven questions that they have been struggling with or they have been challenged by. So guys, if you have such questions, to answer them, to interpret your input, can actually provide the insights and information that's the most beneficial to your actual stories. So now is the time.
This is an interactive session. I know, for example, Amira is starting her social media agency.
Mm-hmm.
If you are open to share where you are right now and what you need support with building the foundation, feel free to open your mic and share. Mariam as well. Miranda is also your you have your own business, Visual Stories, so uh, it's the time to ask any questions you have or identify any gaps you have within the business. All right. I'll just gonna continue. Feel free to share in the chat any thoughts that you got or anything you would like to have a question or discussion about. Now, one of the workflows that would help you structure your business, as we said before, is getting clarity, because clarity on what you are doing is help you to lead the way. And you don't have to know the whole journey. You just like a building the four pillars of your business or the foundation of your business, and getting clear about what you are doing, like the mission, the vision, and the goals that you are trying to achieve is a really one of the core pillars that would help you go somewhere. You can't go into like different directions, or you can't go technically anywhere if you don't know where you are going. So you have to have a set, a clear purpose. We're trying to do X, Y, and Z, and this is what it takes to go there. And once you do this, you can integrate a lot of tools that would help you shape this journey. Whether you're using pen and paper or we're using online tools or digital platforms, for example, like Notion, Trello, Jira, depend on whatever you're using for your business, having this space where you can work on with yourself first, to have a space to write and document everything, and also incorporate your team to join you on this space to be updated on what's going on. And once you do that, you can start updating the processes that you're working on. You can start establish the standard of operation and how you're going to be working within your business, whether internally or how you're going to be communicating with your clients from your business outward. And having these workflows in a flexible manner, where what I mean is that it's easy when you start working with one client, with two clients, but also you need to consider your ability to scale when it is needed. So it's a process. It's like there's no set way to follow that all the businesses gonna be following the same structure, but there's foundation of all businesses that look similar. And that's where you need to do sprints, or you do rounds. For example, every 3 months or every 6 months, you go and reassess where you're at and learn, reflect on what you did so far, learn from the lessons, the ups and downs that you've been through, and improve it. Whether this is a one new clients that you want to improve your client journey through, or maybe some mistake that happened, like internal conflict or something else. it's a journey where we keep learning and we keep improving the process as you go. And that's where actually going to help you to have a successful business as you go, because just a feedback loop that would help you to improve your business and grow. Now, once you get the foundation ready, that's where you're going to get started to go to accelerators. And I'm going to open the space for Saba as he helped multiple startups to go into accelerator programs and get them ready to be there.
Thank you, Summer. First of all, I would like to ask you everyone a question, but to be very quick and precise, let's just use some reactions. If you have ever entered a pre-acceleration or acceleration program, please just send any kind of emoji, like, I don't know, thumbs up or just smile or whatever, using the reaction channel. So I just want to know what kind of experience we have with pre-acceleration and acceleration programs. Okay, thank you. I think Mariam just sent a thumbs up. Only one person. That's interesting. I even see some familiar faces, guys. I think you entered some pre-acceleration programs before. Probably Miranda. You also entered a program before. Okay, then. What I want to highlight is that majority of the times when I work with startups, they tend to be very passionate about the idea. They really want to actually solve the problem that they have identified that is not solved yet, or is not solved in an efficient and effective way for the customers. Therefore, the need is there. The problem, the challenge is definitely there. And sometimes the excitement and the passion for the idea overtakes, and startups and entrepreneurs forget or get carried out with the excitement, and they do not understand their startups from the big picture perspective. And this can cause many problems, definitely, and this can cause many like setbacks, because probably there has been times when you have been asked about your startups and some particular questions, and you had no idea whatsoever what to answer to the person asking you the question, because sometimes we don't understand the whole business model of the startup itself, because the idea takes away our idea, and excitement carries us away, and we think that it's the best idea in the world, which probably is. But still, as Samer mentioned, it really needs structure. It really needs clear roles and responsibilities. Because trust me, if in a given space or time, in a given group or organization, if everyone is responsible for something, then no one's actually responsible for it. And in these cases, the objectives stay unsolved, and the goals stay unreached, because the responsibility and ownership um, really somehow empowers you, and also keeps you on your toes to contribute on a daily basis to the things that you are working for, whether it's your startup or any other thing in your life. Well, to be ready for any kind of pre-acceleration or acceleration program, you actually need to understand your startup from A to Z. And it is really important that you understand not only the part that you are actually trying to solve the problem, or not only the part about your idea, how great it is and how effectively it solves the problem, but also all different aspects of it, whether it's customer segmentation, or it's communication and relationship with them, or what kind of channels they want to be reached, or what is the actual cost structure that you may have. or what are the main partners that you need in order to successfully work and successfully manage your startup? These are the questions that really need a lot of thinking and a lot of working, because you need to make it clear, especially firstly for you, for your team, and for the investors potentially, to get them interested. Because trust me, no one's gonna buy the idea only, because if they are not gonna see you as someone capable of actually bringing this idea into life or scaling this idea into new heights, then they are not going to invest in your startup, or they are not going to give you a grant, or they are not going to support you directly. So, in order to clean the house, I always suggest to start with really commonly used but very effective business model canvas, which is very sometimes overused and overlooked, because a lot of people tend to not use it in a direct, like in an effective way, in a correct way, and they end up being more confused after that. So business model canvas is always something that every startup or even smaller companies really need to incorporate into day-to-day operations, and it will help you understand your idea better. I have seen many different pitches. I mean, regarding the accelerator and pre-accelerator programs, you always have a demo day, right? And within the demo day, you have to present your idea. And I've attended many of them, and I've seen many pitches from different sector startups. And there is one thing that always somehow determines the success of your pitch. Well, one thing is that you have to be really determined and passionate about your idea. Being very effective when you are storytelling and when you are bringing your idea to your potential stakeholders, potential investors is important. But as much excited you might be, you always need to have the data to back up your excitement. The business model, clear business model to make your idea more understandable, and a very important like advantages, competitive advantages within the market. So when we are talking about the pitches and pitch decks, what as a startuppers you have to do is that you have to not only show them that you are very excited about your startup and the passion is there, you also have to tell them and show them actually how are you like supported by the numbers. So have you had any kind of research is carried out even by yourself, or what are the customers saying about you, or what is your early traction, or what kind of small but still successful steps have you taken on this journey, and what is the business model like. Sometimes the problem is there, the solution is there, but it's not translated into a viable business model. And let's be very honest, yes, we as startups strive to solve the problems and have the best solutions for them. But we also need to make a considerable amount of money while doing it in order to make our startups self-sustaining. As Summer mentioned, majority of the startups fail within the first year. And it is not only because they don't have like clear structure, but also because they cannot move forward the grants and the support from investors. They cannot self-sustain. They cannot earn money. And well, we are talking about startups. We are talking about business, and every business has its major objective to generate profit, at least for the benefit of it being still present and being able to operate, right? So we really need to think about it a lot as well. Also, what is very important regarding the pitch decks is that people tend to have this one pitch deck, like created one perfect pitch deck for every kind of occasion. And this is not the effective way, guys, because different accelerators and pre-accelerator programs, or even investment gatherings and angel investors, require different approaches and require different information and highlights. That's why you always need to customize the story, the data, and the whole journey about your startup, and make it more appropriate to your potential investors, or like people that are listening to you and people that need to get interested by your pitch or by your presentation. And majority of the times, people really, the startups really do great job at showing how interested they are, but they lack uh, the future planning. They lack the data. They lack the revenue generation, income streams, and stuff like that. And whenever you give, whenever you conduct a great pitch presentation with the energy and the storytelling and everything, but you don't provide data, trust me, the investors or the people that are listening to you will not be buying your idea, because other than the emotion and excitement which you need to grab their attention, what you need is the actual factual information, such as early traction, what is your conversion rate, what are the plans for this year regarding the finances, or how are you going to scale your business within next 5 years. Well, you might say you have no idea regarding the next 5 years and how you're going to scale. Yes, that can be a very strong argument. How can you envision the future? Well, you cannot. That's exactly why you need to create it, and why you need to create a plan how you're going to navigate the future. And you need some target points. You need some objectives within 1 year, 2 years, or 3 or 5 years, because you need to concentrate. From time to time, you may raise your revenue streams. For instance, if you are earning 100K today and you are gonna earn 150K next year, it's definitely a raise. It's definitely a step forward. But is it something you've been striving for, or it's just another like extra 5K, right? So this is exactly why I'm saying and highlighting that you need to set your goals very clearly, and you need to translate these future goals into your today's operations, today's actions, and today's like tactical plans. Because in other case, you don't really know where you're going, and you're just trying different things, and you try to follow, like to run after the opportunities, and end up nowhere. Because if you don't have clear picture of your startup's future, trust me, it will be really hard to get there. It will be really hard to pass even 1 year, because the startups can never be solely based on the investor income or the accelerator programs and grants. And even if they do, within 3 years, they stop working. I have seen many startups that have been very, how to say, effective in terms of getting all the grants and all the investments, but they could not keep on working past 3 years, because the startups could not become self-sustaining. And this is very important, financially self-sustaining, okay? And this is very important. Other than that, it's also very important to make sure that you provide within your pitch decks, you provide the problem that's not been solved, the solution that's very effective, and also you present the team that is capable of bringing this solution to the next level, or to actually create it. It depends on if you're on the ideation level or you're on the level of scaling it up and you already have some traction. So this is very important to have different people in your teams. They must have, it's not a nice thing to have. The team members must have complementary skill sets. If you are 5 people in the teams and 5 people have the same skill sets, same um, knowledge and education, and for instance, all 5 of you are great at finances, trust me, you won't get past a long journey because you need a marketer there. You need a person with business development mindset and strategic mindset. You need someone to actually think about the legal stuff. You need someone to actually scale your business. And majority of the times I'm working with startups that are tech startups because the scalability makes sense, the most sense in the tech startups, because digital products can be replicated and scaled within the reach of internet, right? So this is exactly why we always encourage startups to incorporate digital opportunities and capabilities into their ideas. And definitely, you need somebody who will be tech savvy and who will build the startup from the technical perspective and standpoint as well. So these are the majority of the questions at sorry, not questions, but points that I wanted to highlight. One more thing that I want to highlight for the already existing, like current startups, please go for the quality regarding the lead generation and client acquisition rather than quantity. Because when you are a startup, your capability and scale is quite limited. If you are 5 or 10 people, you may not be able to serve more than, I don't know, 50 or 70 different clients on a monthly basis. And this is a very interesting insight from one of the startups that I've been working with for some time. They have created a great product, digital product. They have been acquiring a lot of new customers, but even though I have some kind of tried to warn them and make them ready for it, still the demand was so high they could not keep up with it. And then they had to slow it down and, for instance, only take like batch of 50 new customers per month, because with the scalability, there comes a huge risk of lower client satisfaction based on the capabilities that team might have. How well you serve your customers, how well you create the value for your customers is very important, and trust me, it determines their loyalty levels and their attachment to your brand. So this is exactly why you need to have gradually uh, involving. And as Samer mentioned many times before, startups struggle with structure and set operations and processes, and this is exactly why their capability is limited. So maybe don't aim for 100,000 customers at the same time if you cannot actually serve them. Okay. I don't really want to talk about this stuff all the time on only from my perspective and my side, so I will be more than happy to answer your questions or your input or your, I don't know, concerns if you have some. I've actually noticed that some people are already texted using chat, so I will try to address them now. And for others, I'm encouraging you to text or send the messages for any questions or any, I don't know, um, comments.
Thank you
So
so
Amira
much,
has this
Sarah.
question. Yeah,
Thank you so much. We have a question in the chat from Amira. Out of the five
yeah.
readiness factors that you are talking about, which one do you see early stage founder underestimate the most, and how they can strengthen it before applying to an accelerator?
Yes. First of all, Amira, thanks so much for the question. From my perspective and the experience working with early stage startups, is that they kind of neglect, like not ignore, but get lost within the excitement and are not able to provide data and traction even with the early stages of the startups. And they seem to, how to say, they seem to care less regarding it because they think that the idea is there and it's the best, and people will magically get along and buy this idea and finance it. But every startupper needs to understand that data, whether it's from your customers, from your competitors, or from your actual segmented market, is the key, especially within the modern business landscape where the data is quite available and you need to actually now the data is not problem accessibility to the data. The problem is how you analyze it and how you see different insights using this data. And for instance, startups always like early stage startups and founders or will always neglect the fact that they need to provide and test the ideas with their potential customers. They need to get the feedback. They need to get the critical feedback that they don't like to hear about their perfect ideas. Because majority of the times we are humans and we are very sensitive and we are very subjective, right? Especially about the things that we create and we care about, and we don't want to hear like critical uh, aspects about it, and we want to make sure that everyone loves the idea the way we do. But the feedback that can be incorporated from the potential customers is the gold, is the wealth, and the treasure. Sometimes a lot of early stage startups and founders neglect.
Thank you so much, Saba. I want to echo Saba on the because a lot of us, especially freelancers, we lose track on the information and we don't actually track how many clients we serve as freelancer or actually when we start doing the business, and we feel really excited of just serving more people without giving an attention for the numbers, like how we're serving them, what is the impact we did on them, how much revenue we generated for them, how much lead they did get out of our support, out of consultation, or for example, the social media work that you do for them. And these numbers would really help you to build your credibility and build your reputation as you go along the journey in your business, because these numbers are often what investors or what grants look at. And a lot of people don't have, even if you are in business for a couple years, because you're not actually tracking these numbers and you're not tracking this data. And not to say there's big businesses, they didn't listen to these numbers. For example, a lot of you maybe heard about the Airbnb company, the housing company. Airbnb had to launch it 3 times before it actually get a successful business because the founders were excited about implementing features they want, but not the customers want. And that's what caused them to crash the first time. And then when they start looking to numbers, they looked for what the people want. Also, another example for the people in Lebanon, they know about OLX and Visible. This company also launched second time and went back to OLX based on the numbers of based on the feedbacks and the votes that they get from their people on the name of the business and the mission of the business. So these listening to your customers, listening to the people that you are serving, looking into these numbers and analyzing them would give you a clear insights on what to focus on next in your next step. And not to say here like you're eliminating your plan or you're changing roadmap. It's just help you to prioritize. Okay, instead of implementing this feature first or focusing on one thing first, the current situation in the market need the other feature. So focus on that one. Get this done because this is what your customers need. This is what your people looking at. And then as you go, you can do other features as well that would support it. So these numbers that really would help you. Also, another thing about the data that I want to share is testimonials. A lot of people don't really call for on testimonials and they don't collect them. And that would help you to build your recommendation to also reach out to other clients because you work with a client, things didn't really go well, you feel shy to ask for recommendation. But word of mouth is the most powerful marketing that you can have. If you served the client really well and they talked about your work, you got another client straight away.
Well,
Amir,
I thank you,
sorry.
Summer. I also wanted to elaborate a little bit more regarding the question that Amira had, because there was another question: how can they strengthen it before applying to an accelerator? Additionally, what I want to highlight is that the data and the traction of smaller steps that may be small but still successful on your startup's journey is very important. And this data also gives you the opportunity to show the people, the I don't know, the stakeholders or the in potential investors that your startup can actually scale and grow into a bigger company, because when you need to provide the data, you can also incorporate the unserved customer segments. If there are these kind of customers, what is the information that you might gather on the market research, or what kind of numbers are we talking about? Well, maybe sometimes the actual business model can be scaled, but the potential is not there from the customer demand perspective. This is very important to highlight. And also, one very good thing that I really wanted to share is that, the most of the times on which slide of the pitch deck investors are actually staying and paying attention and spending time on, it's the slide of your competitors and market overview, because you need to understand your market just like palm of your hand, because you need to know who are the main competitors, and you need to know how you can use your strengths against them. And this is exactly why the potential investors spend a lot of time analyzing the competitors, because they need to see the potential there. They not only need to see that you are great, you have a great idea, and you are capable of creating it, and it seems to be very efficient. They also need to know that the potential is there, the market is there, that sometimes the competition level is so high, the market is so penetrated that even though your entry might span some new waves, it won't be effective because your competitors are going to swallow you. So it is very important to take into consideration that study your market, the segment of it that you want to penetrate, you want to go in and enter. Because within this market, like studying the market, I consider two things. Firstly, you need to understand what is the thing that your customers need and want. And as Samer mentioned, always listening to your customers is the basic fundamental laws of doing business. It's like business 101. Listen to your customers, right? And on the other hand, while you are also researching and studying the market, you need to understand and you need to study your competitors as well. What are their current stages? What kind of tendencies they have, and where they might end up later in 3 years or 2 years? What are their advantages and disadvantages, and what are your actual strengths to use against them? Uh, Yes, there's. Thank you, Amira, for your input, which says studying the market makes a person get strongly through it, know how to stand out. Totally agree. Thank you so much. Yeah, definitely, because trust me, even from me, my personal experience, there have been some times when I have had this like breakthrough of an idea, and I did not follow it because after some initial research and understanding the conjuncture of the market, I knew that the new entrant from my side would not be effective and would not be very, how to say, profitable in the longer run. So this is exactly why you need to reconcentrate and redirect your concentration. Yeah. Yes, if you have more questions or more, I don't know, input, we are more than happy to listen to you and to answer your questions. Yes, Miranda.
Hello.
Hi.
Some issues with the internet earlier. So I have a question.
Sorry, Miranda, we can't hear you well.
Yeah. Can you maybe send a text so it will be easier, Miranda?
Or just turn off your video so we can just hear your voice.
Okay, I can write in chat.
We can hear you well without video.
Should I write or can I?
Yeah,
Okay.
you can speak. We can hear you well without video.
Right now, our startup has been selected to Silk Road Innovation Hub, which is side project of Alchemist Accelerator, and it's in San Francisco physically. And on the introduction process, mentors recommended not to chase VC funds yet, although their alumni had really raised a long big amount with the funds. So when is the best time to raise money from VC, and if it's necessary to do it at all, depending on startup itself. That's my question.
Okay. I think I've got the second part more clearly because I could not hear you for the first part. But regarding the perfect moment when you chase for the funds, I would say is the moment when you feel most ready to negotiate your terms. You know, to it may sound vague, but I will explain. Whenever you are receiving this kind of funds, you may be ready to give up some portion of your company, of your equity. But I think, from my perspective and personal opinion, you have to do it when you feel strong enough to stand independently as a startup, and you don't you can't be easily how to say swayed away with the offer, you know. And when you can do it on your terms, yes, you may give up some part of your company, some shares, right? But when still you can do it on your terms, and when you are treated like a partner, and when you are treated like an equal, that's the moment, from my very honest opinion, that's the moment you are ready to negotiate and you are ready to discuss these matters. Or just easily, if you just want to enter a new market and they are giving you the opportunity to enter a new market for 20% of your company, pros and cons, you need to analyze. Maybe it's worth it or maybe it's not. Because there are many let's call them accelerator programs or support programs that give you the opportunity to enter new markets, but for quite a big chunk of your company. So is it worth it? That's the decision that you have to make as a startup.
Like program right now we are participating doesn't have that terms. So it's just a small fee and that's it. That's why I think it's better options than to give up the percentage from beginning while you're a small startup. Am I right?
Yes, and that's exactly why I said, like, when you will start the discussion regarding the equity, I think that should be the time when you feel strong standing by yourself as well. When your startup is kind of self-sustaining and it doesn't really need somebody's magic hand for help. Okay? Because then you become equals and then you become partners. And this is just the support and the additional like income source and the fund you need for the next big step forward for the scaling it. But when you are essentially creating the startup, and as I know your backstory from Yuji, I think it's always kind of risky to give up the equity when you are early in your journey. Yeah.
I want to take your opinion, Saba, here on a question for like when do you think it is the right time to start giving equity, and when, like, how do you know your business evaluation to go approach percentage of your business? Or because a lot of these founders on early stage startups, they don't have the funds to give it away, or like to participate on challenges, or do strategic partnerships. So at some points would be easier to make an evaluation for the business. Let's say I'm a startup worth X amount of money, and I'm willing to give you 10, 20, 30, 50% of the business in exchange for a partnership or exchange for a certain service. So when do you think the founder would know, or how they do the evaluate? First question, how they do the evaluation of their business. And second is when they know that, okay, it is the right time to give equity than giving a cash in exchange. Sorry, you're muted.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. So to start with the first question, how you can get the evaluation, right? Regarding the startup, especially when you are an early stage startup, and you need to understand your worth as well. First of all, if you have to do it by yourself, it's easier to do it with like to have the understanding regarding it, and it's easier to do it with like comparative method. You know, you yourself compare your startup to a similar startup in a similar position, like similar markets. Okay, for instance, if you have this startup in Georgia and you need to evaluate it within your capability, you may find another startup on the same journey, on the same level of accomplishments, and get the perspective from the actual already evaluated startup side. Or this is more like amateur way, but it is good for you as a founder to understand what's your worth. Maybe you think it's 10,000, or maybe somebody thinks it's 1 billion. I don't know. So there is a huge gap, right? So somewhere you end up, and where is that point? You can do it with this comparative method. Also, especially when you are early stage startup. Also, when it depends on the startup's revenue streams as well. Are you the startup that's already has the idea, the MVP, the operational like business model, everything, but you still have not started generating money and revenues? Then that's another story, right? But as long as you start generating, the evaluation definitely changes. You can also, for the more professional and more precise evaluations, you can always get like third-party evaluation, which is I think most suggested if you want to actually understand what's your worth, because they are more objective, and they not only interpret your input regarding your startup, but they also study and do the research, and also they incorporate the market situation as well into their assessment. So this is also another way to do it. There have been many times when huge accelerators, they by themselves evaluate and give the evaluation to the startups as well. So this is another practice as well. Well, regarding the moment when you kind of might feel ready to, how to say, give up your equity, I would kind of repeat myself and say the same thing wherever I said to Miranda. It's like that's the moment when you feel that you can negotiate the terms as well. Like when it's not you asking on one side and waiting for their answer to actually kind of save your startup. Okay, this is the moment when you do the negotiations on your term as well. Like you are treated like an equal partner because you can back up your startup by itself as well. It's self-sustaining and you know already it can go big and you need additional support, whether it's financial support. And in majority of the cases, it's the experience and connections and networks that a particular investor can contribute to your startup. So I think maybe there are like best answers to this question, but in this case, I go for my own and very honest opinion. The moment when you feel strong enough to stand up for your startup, for your terms of negotiation, and for the moment when you know exactly that this startup can go really big, and you not only like investors don't like invest their money into your startup, like into your today's startup, right? Whatever the result you have today, you have sold 10,000 items, or I don't know, you generated 100,000 or $1 million. No, they invest in the potential, right? And this is exactly what you need to kind of gamble. If you understand the potential of your startup and if it's based on factual information as well, not just your gut feeling that it's going to go big. But if it's backed up with data and the analytics and predictive analysis and everything, this is exactly the moment you can kind of gamble with the equity to, I don't know, give up 5 or 10% for a big chunk of money that will help you go big faster. And especially with a proper investor that would help you with networking and connections, which is a major, major component in the scaling startups.
Thank you so much, Saba.
You're welcome.
Is there anyone have any other question? I'm aware about the time. We're almost getting to an end, and just want to open the space for anyone who have a questions or would like to ask anything about their startups, about their journey, they need any kind of support about where they at, what they need help with.
Hello, everyone. Hope is everyone doing well. Um, I've been working on my startup business for Iconics Marketing Agency. This Iconic Marketing Agency is not similar to anyone in market. Its role is not to just give the client branding, and it dives more deeper than that's giving branding and social media and UI UX. We serve people who don't just need branding, they need a deep understanding of their brand's positioning, and we can give them like neuromarketing strategies related to psychology. The neuromarketing strategies are the reasons behind people why they click, why they do need to buy, what triggers them to take an action. if it was like buying a product or a service. So the challenge that I'm facing currently is having to break the tasks and focus on the most important stuff that I'm doing. So there's huge amount of tasks and there's less time and you need to focus on the things that are important. So yes, that's it.
Thank you, Amira, for the question. Can I, before we, Amir or Summer, answer the question, can I give you a follow-up question just we understand your situation better?
Yes, go ahead.
Is it like, do you have a team? Like, how big is your team, and how you manage everything? Like, are you alone?
No, so the team is between 2 and 10 employees, and yes, not alone.
Summer, should I go or you want to answer
Please go ahead.
it? Okay, so if I understood correctly, the challenge is to prioritize what are the most important and beneficial objectives or tasks that you need to accomplish so that they can also contribute to your business and to the success of your business. As I say this to a lot of founders, and not only founders, but managers on different levels, especially middle and top managers, the how to say, the urgency, like the urge to manage everything by yourself is something that slows down and frames your company's potential within the capability that you as a person might have within 24 hours. Hopefully, I formulated it very clearly, but I will reframe it. So, Amira, for instance, if you are the person accomplishing and doing most of the tasks, your company's growth is in the same frame as is your capability to accomplish everything within 24 hours. Because even if you dedicate all of your time and energy, it will only be the potential that one person can get. And this is exactly very important to highlight the importance of synergy. That's why I asked you regarding the team members. If you have team members, you need to find a sweet spot of positive synergy that you work together and your work as a group, as a unit of many people, is much more than the sum of your individual contributions, right? So this is exactly why you need to prioritize the tasks and delegate them to people in your team, because you are not the person that should be everything regarding the tasks, regarding the objectives. Because if you as a founder are very lost within the day-to-day operations, your business strategically will suffer. It cannot grow. It cannot move forward because you won't have enough time to think about its strategy, how to grow it and how to scale it. And this is very important to understand. Every minute of every startup founder has its, how to say, like optimal cost, you know? If you are spending your time on a tiny mini task on a daily basis, that time can be spent on the scaling and market like expansion strategies. So, are you willing to pay this price? That's the question that you need to answer. And on the other hand, I can also give you a good, I think, a good framework which is called Eisenhower Matrix. Maybe you are familiar with it. It's created by Dwight Eisenhower. He was, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 34th president of United States, and he said, "So I have two kinds of tasks. Like I have two kinds of yeah, it's Eisenhower Matrix. I can also send the link, and you can also reach out on LinkedIn, and I can send you the link. So he said this: I have two kinds of decisions. One, urgent, and second, important. And not all the urgent decisions are important, and not all the important decisions are urgent. This is exactly why you need to think about what are the things that are very urgent and that need to be taken care of, and what are the things that need your strategic mind to follow. So, because they are important, I would suggest you just sit down and write down everything that you have planned for the next week. Yeah, so very easy way how you can do it. Please just write down everything that you have planned for the next week, like every task for the 5 days from Monday to Friday that you plan to accomplish. And then take Eisenhower Matrix and redistribute it into different sections of it. Trust me, it will be mind-blowing how many like time eaters, let's call it, you might have within your to-do list. Yeah, I think I took forever answering your question, but hopefully it was beneficial, or I don't know, interesting.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I also want to add a little things here for what Saba was saying is that when you work with team for two people or more, remember that you are the founders. So no matter what's happening, you're gonna always have tasks to do. So I usually say this for teams like 5 people and more. You're the founder. You have one job is to delegate tasks because no matter how much you delegate, you're gonna always have stuff to do yourself as the founder because you're holding the vision, you're holding the mission of the company. So there's a lot on your plates all the time, and that's where you need to start delegating stuff to other people and find people within your network, like leverage your network for the best of your ability and have the courage to ask for help because a lot of people feel inspired about what you are doing and want to help you with your business, but you're too shy and they don't know how to help you. So if you don't put an announcement there or call on people to help you with your business, you probably would not get any help. And a lot of people willing to help you for free or intern in your business because they feel inspired about what you are doing. Delara, I think you have something to say. Please go ahead.
No, I don't. Actually, Summer, as you know, I don't have my own business yet, but it was really inspiring. Both dear Saba and your speech was really inspiring and helpful. I appreciate spending your time with us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Delara.
Welcome.
Before we wrap up, just want to open the space again for anyone else who have questions or want to share anything. Thank you, Muhammad, for being here, and thank you, Sarah, as well. All right, finally is
Thank you, guys.
last part. I really appreciate all of you for being here, and for that, I'm gonna share with you a free gift. It's a 10-page blueprint I created, which documented some of the knowledge that I have as I am onboarding clients to my business, and I'm gonna be sending this to you by email. It's a 10-step on what to do whenever you get a new client to your business or someone showed interest in your business, how to talk to them without actually selling them, how to onboard them to your business and work with them, and how to afford them to have some sort of structure or map do you follow. And hopefully this would help you to have a smooth process and smooth workflow when you work with people. And also want to encourage you as we are here to book a consultation call with me and Saba. Don't let this session to be just 1 hour of information. Take some action on this information. You can reach to me or Saba through LinkedIn. It's our name, and book a consultation call or start a chat with us. We're so happy to support you and share with you. As we mentioned at the beginning, this is something we feel really inspired about to help startups and business founders to succeed on their journey. And we are here happy to support you and help you. And finally, I want to say thank you for Saba for co-hosting this session with me. I'm really grateful for you and really grateful for all the insights that you get to share with us today.
Thank you so much, Summer, for inviting me, and it was my pleasure to participate in this webinar. Thank you, everyone, for your interest and contribution, and for showing up and taking the time. As Summer mentioned, I'm more than open and happy to support you through communication later, so you can reach out to me using LinkedIn. I cannot promise you that I will get back to you instantly, but I promise you that I will get back to you as soon as possible. So if you have any question or a challenge that you're facing currently or something like this, please just reach out, and we will see what we can do or how we can overcome the challenge. Thank you, everyone, and I wish you all the best.
Likewise. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. You will receive email after this session that has the client onboarding blueprint as PDF and the recording link for this session. If you would like to go back and watch it again, you receive an email with it. I really appreciate everyone for being here and hope to see you again.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.